Let us know when we are live.
Now I think.
Live.
Yes,
Hello.
we are live.
Okay. Shall we start?
Sure,
We
Sutapa.
are live, Sutapa.
Okay. Hello everyone. Very good evening. Myself, dietitian Sutapa, working as a dietitian in clinical excellence and research team at QurHealth. I welcome you all for today's webinar session on the Indian plate, how our cultural food helps in disease prevention. So firstly, for those who do not know about our company QurHealth, I would like to give a brief introduction about QurHealth. So QurHealth is a conversational AI company delivering personalized care at scale. At QurHealth, our vision is save life super proactively. Our is to improve patient quality of care, patient safety, adherence, and awareness. Our user-friendly CureBook app has more than 2,500 care plans and diet plans under 30 special health categories. These plans will help to improve the patient's health condition by monitoring vital symptoms and everyday lifestyle management activities specific to their specific health conditions. So our care concierge plan consists of expert care team with specialized doctor, dietitians, physiotherapists, counselors, and highly skilled nurses as care coordinators who remotely monitor your health condition through regular follow-up calls and make sure you adhere your care plan activities, take your medication on time, and eat healthy foods, which is listed in your diet plan. So I would like to inform all the viewers that you can type your questions in the comment section, and these questions will be answered at the end of the webinar during the Q&A session conducted by our Dr. Isha. Before we start today's webinar, I would like to introduce you all to our guest speaker for today, Dr. Janaki Badagu. She is an experienced nutritionist with more than 20 years of experience in food and nutrition field. She completed her M.Sc and Ph.D. in food and nutrition from Professor Jayashankar Agricultural University. Her work is published in national and international journals as well as in the universities also. Her main forte is nutrition education. She has contributed hugely to society by advancing knowledge through various channels and to the profession by founding awards and social platform to showcase nutrition professionals. I would like to remind our viewers that please you can type your question in the comment section so that we can answer your questions by end of our session. So let's begin our very interesting webinar session on the Indian plate and how our cultural food helps in disease prevention. So as we know, Indian food is different from rest of the world, not only in taste, but also in cooking methods. It reflects a perfect blend of various cultures and ages. Just like Indian culture, food in India has also been influenced by various civilizations, which have contributed their share in its overall development and present form. So foods of India are better known for their spiciness. Throughout India, be it North or South India, spices are used generously in food. Every single spice used in Indian dishes carries some or the other nutritional as well as medicinal properties. India shows a huge diversity, not only in its culture, but also in its dishes based on region. Food in North India, to begin with Kashmiri cuisine, reflect strong Central Asian influences. But on the other hand, states like Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh show high consumption of chapatis as a staple food. Again, these chapatis are prepared with variety of flours such as wheat, rice, pulses, besan, etc. In Western India, desert cuisines is very famous for its unique taste and variety of food. Rajasthan, Gujarat are the states that represent desert flavor of Indian food. In the states like Maharashtra, the food is usually a mix of both North as well as South cooking styles. Here, people use both rice and chapatis with same interest. In Goa, which is farther down towards south, one one can notice Portuguese influence in the dishes. In southern India, the states make great usage of their spices, grains, fish, and coconut, as most of them have coastal kitchens. Southern India shows high consumption of rice as a staple food. So, Dr. Janaki, as we are having a very similar experience that nowadays the young generation is coming up with comorbidities at their very early stage. If we compare this condition, it is quite visible that our grandparents and parents are more immune to diseases than us. So, do you think that it can be a reason for their eating habits? Can you please enlighten this fact that how food habit changes our immunity power in recent years?
Okay, first of all, thank you, Dr. Jamuna and Dr. Isha and dietitian Sutapa and QR book team. It's a great pleasure to always come back to this QR book team and be associated with you and share my knowledge with you. And this is quite a good initiative to share this knowledge, keeping it alive. So people also will get to know more about maybe some interesting facts about our food and our culture and so on and so forth. So coming to your question, yes, our parents, our grandparents, and our forefathers are very lucky. Especially forefathers are very lucky because we have to really uh, put our hands together because they used to do farming and they used to live in villages. They had the fresh air. They had a very pleasant and peaceful life and had the fresh produce to eat. And they used to eat seasonal foods. That was the lifestyle for say may not be grandparents, but definitely forefathers are generally are like that, and it really helped them to be quite healthy and they lived quite long. And when it comes to our parents, no doubt they have a good immunity, and but they also are affected with the modern day along with us, and they are fighting the disease. That is our parents' situation. Now coming to current generation or present generation, their immunity is affected at several various levels because we are thrown into a situation where our sleep pattern, we don't sleep until the date changes. That is number one. And we don't eat on time. And when it comes to the eating, what you eat, when you eat, how you eat, all this impacts your health. That's one important aspect. And the work style, we are no longer sedentary. We always used to say heavy work, moderate work, and sedentary work. That's what our textbooks described, and that's what we studied. But right now what we are seeing is beyond sedentary. People are working from their bed right now. This kind of lifestyle, what it does is it actually gives us inflammation. And there's a continuous abuse of the body, continuous abuse of eating habits or sleep, whatever, all mixed together, we are thrown into inflammation factor. This inflammation actually damages it gives it interferes with the function at cellular level. It can even change the DNA, which might cause cancers as well. But it basically interferes with the cellular function, which will damage the organ permanently sometimes. If it is a chronic thing, then it will damage the organ, giving you the lifestyle disease. It weakens the immune system, and as well as it also damages the your organ, which actually gives rise to lifestyle diseases, which are mostly diabetes and PCOS and those kind, blood pressure and those kind of diseases we face. Apart from this, weak immunity can also expose us to quick infections like cold, cough, fever are the quickest infections that we see day in, day out, especially with children as well as young adults. And we have so many other things which right now I don't want to discuss right now. But since you asked about the food habits, we have to really change the food habits. We have to tailor make the diet plan so that it suits you and how you are eating. If you are eating in a hasty way, you are just eating on the run and on the go, then it will not impact you the way it has to impact. The nutrients will be utilized for your stress rather than your health. So that's how, and body gets adapted so quickly. So whatever you eat, first it will go for adoption of the situation, then it will give you the right height. So we have to tailor make the diet plans per individual, and also we have to see that every meal is balanced. Balanced meal tailor made for the individual, and change your lifestyle and change your work style and sleep on time will keep you in good condition, and it will improve and enhance your immunity very well. So
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, I would just like to discuss few more things. Like, as you know, that our statistics show that usage of antibiotics has increased quite a few times compared to our grandparents, as we were just discussing. So the reason being, infective diseases are very common nowadays, and people with low immunity are very, very much vulnerable. So we know that antioxidants can boost our immunity strength, especially vitamin C rich foods like, we have our amla, jamun, lemon, any citrus fruits, then green leafy vegetables, etc. So how can we ensure our immunity strength with Indian cultural food, as we are discussing, which offer antioxidants, and which foods, and especially which foods are, rich in antioxidants?
Yes. So you said we are using antibiotics. Antibiotics come in many forms. We on regular fruits and vegetables also, there are certain chemicals which may cause some changes in our systems. And some people, the usage of antibiotics is so different. Some people do not undergo the complete course. Once the symptoms recede, then immediately they'll stop without taking the full course. That will cause resistant bacteria. And some people actually take the same antibiotics again and again. See, once if the doctor prescribes, they will take same antibiotic again and again without consulting the physician. And also they recommend to others as well, because they are cured, they think it will also help them. Another thing is, like, people do not take probiotic after antibiotic course. This is another factor. We get to see people in these combinations. So this will definitely weaken the immunity. So to increase the immunity, we have to see that the diet is planned in such a way that it is rich in probiotics, prebiotics, and antioxidants. These three things are important, not alone antioxidants, because antioxidants definitely will lower our inflammation. We will be in a much better position to take up the nutrition or nourishment that we take from our diet. But probiotics and prebiotics are very important in the diet plan as well, especially if they are under antibiotics or they have recently used antibiotics. This is one thing. And talking about the antioxidant rich foods, fruits and vegetables, all fruits, all vegetables, all green leafy vegetables which are rich in color, like orange, red, even white color. For example, radish is in white color. So that is white is again a color which is a rich kind of. It's a pure white color. Then green leafy vegetables. All this is the thumb rule to identify which food is rich in antioxidants. The foods that are very rich in colors, the thicker in they'll be thicker in taste and richer in color. Those foods you have to definitely include. They will add color to your plate. So those foods need to be included in our regular meal. If you look at our traditional meals, especially if you look at the banana leaf meal, and at the different regions, thalis and different regions, they're all colorful. They are different food materials are used to make up that particular meal. So that kind of eating habits we have to cultivate. We have to continue with our traditional aspects. So take foods that are richer in color and thicker in the taste. They are the rich foods in antioxidants. So you have to add in your plate. That's how it has to be.
So, ma'am, as we know that millets are part of our Indian diet since ancient times. Now we are being health conscious, and again, we are welcoming millets into our diets, as they are one of the richest sources of nutrients. So how do you address the importance of millets in our Indian food plate, and how do they actually influence our optimum health? So that our audiences can be beneficial with this information.
Yeah, millets have really gained a lot of importance in recent times, and 2023 is the year of millets, and a lot of incentives are also given to farmers who grow millets and people who do business with the millets. So millets are definitely, I would say, the boon to modern life right now, modern style of life right now, because they are very rich and in anti-inflammatory agents. All millets included in this. So it is not that one single particular millet is rich in particular thing, but all millets are quite rich in anti-inflammatory agents. So, and our modern life will give you a lot of inflammation. So we need anti-inflammatory agents. So this is the right time to actually increase the millet intake. But how you take is very important. It need not be completely pure millet, but it has to be in the form of mixed meal. Like for example, you mix millet with if your staple is rice, you mix millet with your staple, because you have grown up eating a particular food, a staple food. For example, rice eaters have grown up with eating rice. Wheat eaters have grown up with eating wheat. Jawar, they have grown up with eating jawar. So what we have to do when we have to inculcate or inculcate new habit of mixing millet into our diet, and what you have to do is just mix into your meal. For example, if you are cooking rice, add little bit of millet into that. Maybe it can be 1:1 instead of taking millet, pure millet meal. So that will help, because again, millets, though they are very good anti-inflammatory agents, they are also quite rich in fiber. That particular fiber especially might interfere with absorption of calcium and iron. So we need to mix optimal mix of millets into a staple, like your atta. Wheat flour can be mixed with millet. Rice, while cooking it, can be mixed with millet. You can use boiled millet on the salads as a dressing, because the grains are very fine and round. Many millet grains are fine and round. They can be used, and you can use them as a fermented products. That will help in lowering of the other anti-nutrients, polyphenols. Those kind of things can be lowered by fermenting. Like we have fermented products for the breakfast, like dosa and idli. Those fermented products you can use. We will be using rice and dal as a combination for these fermented products. We can use so part of rice and part of millet and dal together to make this batter. So that way it will be even more beneficial. If you ferment, if you soak, if you sprout them, they are more beneficial to our health than directly eating them, mixing them. Mix them, soak them, ferment them, and then sprout them. These are the methods to have millets. And if you start eating millets, not only you will reduce your inflammatory levels in the body, you will have a clean bowel. The bowel movement is very important. If there's constipation, there's a buildup of toxins, and toxins can also those toxins can also give you inflammation, and that can lead to many other issues of the gut or colon. So the millets will help in cleaning the gut as well, and improving. The fiber act as a substrate for improving the good bacteria. So gut bacteria also improves the inflammatory, and the gut bacteria improves because the gut is the one which gives us millions of immune cells every day. So if you keep the gut in a healthy way, that will help in improving your immunity. So, but don't eat them in a pure manner, mix them and have them. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am. That is something really new information we got. So following this, I mean, we must acknowledge that in recent years, the food habit of the people has taken a deep turn, and modern day lifestyle is mostly characterized by opting more polished and processed food, which was not a part of our earlier food culture. So, do we have a serious impact of implementing polished and processed foods in the regular diet? Like, do they really harm us?
I would say polished rice per se will not harm really. Actually, rice became a culprit nowadays. It is like if we say A is bad, people will think B is good, or B is good, people will think A is bad. So that comparison is always there. Yet in India, we have a plate where everything is mixed. We always have a vegetable curry. We are vegetarians by nature, actually. So the amount of non-vegetarian food we eat in India is quite less. We cannot be called as non-vegetarian at all. So our plate is completely vegetarian, which means we have a lot of vegetables. So when you add vegetables to the rice or polished rice or so-called white rice or polished rice, then it will definitely lowers the glycemic index of a particular meal. So nobody will take rice as single thing. You will not eat a rice, only rice. You will mix with it something and have it. So saying that white rice or polished rice will harm us is not true. All I want to tell is when you are having refined things like maida is a refined, but again we may not eat that much of maida when compared to other countries where bread is a staple in many countries. Rice is a complex thing. Rice itself, whether it's polished or unpolished or less polished rice, it is a complex carbohydrate. So having complex carbohydrates is very important for us. It actually nourishes our system. So only thing is you should not take in large quantities. Large quantities means so many calories, and the calories which are not used will definitely be stored as fat. So that we need to keep in mind. And rice is important and very important B vitamins. So rice needs to be taken. If not rice, wheat also is an important staple. Both can be taken.
So ma'am, as we started our webinar with, as I mentioned, Indian spices, so let's just focus there. So Indian spices are known for their diversity. Almost every Indian spices have some nutritional or medicinal benefits, and they have, they have been taking care of our immune systems, digestive system, wound healing, etc. So Indian spices are the best in the world, and spices like cinnamon, black pepper, and cloves can even work as an appetite booster. So how do you project the importance of Indian spices on the health of of the people?
The biggest spice that has gained a lot of importance is turmeric during COVID, and of course pepper also, because everybody used to make that potion with turmeric and pepper and used to drink for improving their immunity. See, Indian spices, we are the largest spice consuming unit in the world, and our day never goes without having chili powder and turmeric in a curries. That's most important. It gives a taste, it gives color. The main thing people do or look when they're eating is the food has to be presentable, and there needs to be good aroma, and it needs to be like appetizing when they start eating. So spices have all these qualities. First, like visual, it has visual impact, and it stimulates us to have the hunger hormone first releases in the brain, and then the ghrelin will release first in the brain, and some amount will be released in the brain, and then later in the stomach. So when you see food which is quite appetizing with good aroma, spices does that, then the hunger starts and we will start eating the food. So it is a stimulant first. All spices are stimulant, and they stimulate us in such a way that all our digestive enzymes gets released and we have good digestion. This is the primary thing our spices does to our plate or to meal and to us. Then later, certain spices like turmeric or certain spices like pepper and some condiments like garlic and ginger, they have separate aspects. Like, for example, garlic is fungicide, antiviral, and antibacterial. Turmeric is also antibacterial and antiviral, and it also has impact in lowering the cancers, controlling the cancers. And chili powder is it also stimulates red chili powder, a green chilies for that matter. They stimulate the appetite. They also improve the digestion, and they clean up the digestive system. which is very, very important because as I said before, digestive system is the main source of producing immune cells every day. And it has to get renewed every 24 hours. It gets renewed, and we need to keep the digestive system in top condition. And as a nutritionist, our organ is digestive system. So that we need to keep in mind. And pepper, for example, will give you a metabolic boost. So it is important for Weight Watchers and people who are having hypothyroidism, etc. So each spice has its own effect. Basically, they have effect on digestion, but individual effect they have. So we can actually advise certain spices at a certain stage, and those spices need to be used only for a certain period of time. They cannot or should not be used left and right center. That's very important thing to keep in mind because they are very powerful foods. They are very small, but they're quite powerful. So that we have to keep in mind while advising the spices.
So thank you, ma'am, for this great intake. So, well, unlike turmeric, we have, as you rightly said, that during COVID, the usage of turmeric and black pepper. So we were all very concerned that we must have these spices, and the importance of these spices also got quite increased. So, like turmeric, we do use black pepper also quite often, and it is pretty rich in vitamin K, vitamin C, and vitamin E, and also manganese. So, how does this black pepper can influence our health condition and the status of any individual's health?
Yes, spices, as you said, you mentioned about the elements like vitamins and minerals. So they are quite rich in vitamins and minerals. They are rich in essential oils, and they impact their special effect through them. For example, cinnamon has a different effect, and pepper has a different effect, and clove has a different effect, and likewise. And then even the regular ones which we use daily on daily basis is like jeera and um, mustard seeds, which we use for tadka and all. So those even they also have their special impact with their essential oils as well, and as well as their we call them as essential and aromatic oils that are present in there. They impact they give us a special impact on the health, and we can use them for specific things. For example, as I said before, pepper can be used as a metabolic booster. It can improve, it can burn the calories. So we can use for obese people. We can use for like for Weight Watchers. We can use, and we can use for hypothyroid people. We can use for PCOS, and cinnamon we can use for diabetic persons, etc., etc. So what was your last part of the question?
Black pepper, ma'am, like
Yeah,
how it is
yeah,
affecting or anybody's
yes, we can,
immune.
yeah. Yeah, we can, but as I said before, pepper or turmeric or chili powder or any other spice for that matter, we have to use in limited quantities, and we have to use in combination. That is also another important aspect. For example, turmeric and pepper goes if you add little bit of this. There's a traditional way of having them also. If you remember, our grandparents used to give us this milk added the turmeric and pepper, sweetened with jaggery or honey, of course. So having turmeric and pepper together actually enhances the work of turmeric. Also, they complement each other. So that way we have to look into the combinations when we are advising the or when people start taking spices. They have to look into the combinations. And also many people have this habit of everything taking early in the morning. Um, for example, methi seed water people started these days, like, fenugreek seeds, they soak and they start taking first thing in the morning. See, fenugreek will impact a hypoglycemic effect. That is lowering the sugar. Now, on empty stomach, if you take hypoglycemic effect, or the food that gives you hypoglycemic effect, then without food, you will be even low in sugars. So you have this fenugreek you need to have along with the food. That way it will impact and it lowers your spikes of the sugars. So each especially spices which are very small, very powerful in nature, have to be looked into and see whether it is required by us or not, and take it in combination, and how we have to take, when we have to take, all that is needed. And I think dietitian is the best to advise you.
Rightly said, ma'am. Very rightly said. So, ma'am, just few minutes early, we were discussing about that prebiotics and probiotics, antioxidants. This three combination is needed, to boost up your immunity system. So, irrespective of any region in India, curd is a part of every meal everywhere.
Hmm.
We have been told that curd is a natural probiotic which can improve our gut health and digestive system. So people with gastro issues may get serious help by just incorporating curd into their
Hmm.
diet. So, doctor, can you please enlighten our audiences about this fact, please?
Yeah, curd is very, in fact, it's very good food, and North Indians generally take with, along with the chapatis, they add a bowl of curd, either in breakfast or lunch or dinner. And in South India, meal will not be added without taking curd. Curd is rice, curd rice. Curd rice itself is one. Sometimes we take a lunch box curd rice, and we keep curd rice for children and all. Sometimes curd rice is used as breakfast also. So curd is definitely a very good food and to be included in our meals, whichever, whenever you can, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or sometimes it can be snack also, like the hiwada, those kind of things. So it is a great probiotic and a natural probiotic. And most importantly, people who are lactose intolerant can use curd. So that way, curd has much more curd is much more helpful than the milk, and also because it is very rich in probiotic bacteria, it also has some vitamin C content, which is not present in milk, and also it has a little bit amount of iron developed in it because of the bacteria, which is not present in the normal milk. So having curd is very, very good for everyone to improve their immunity, and it helps boost the gut health also.
So, doctor, you are suggesting then people who are having especially gastro issues, because gastro issues almost people are experiencing beyond their age. I mean, irrespective of their age, even the kids are also having gastro problems. Uh, Youngsters and aged people, of course, because almost every uh, aged people, they are having some this medicines. So curd you are recommending almost everybody. That's the thing.
Yes, we can recommend curd for everyone,
Okay. Dr. Now
unless
let
they don't like it.
sure.
Some
So
people,
now
they
let
don't
us
like
bring
curd.
up sure, man. So
Sorry.
let us just bring up an interesting topic on our Indian food, which is called superfood. Some examples are like amla, jamun, drumstick, and banana flour. So they have always been a part of our Indian cultural food. Amla is 20 times higher in vitamin C than lemon. And vitamin C is a strong antioxidant, as we know. So the significance of our superfoods over optimum health should be one of the major concern in recent studies. So doctor, can you please let us know the importance of our Indian superfoods on our health management?
So if you are asking me, so I will say that every food is a superfood. So every food, because every food has its own way of giving us nutrients, and where we get nourished, and we get nutrients from these foods. And mentioning about the amla, jamun, all these things, and even beetroot for that matter, look at the pungency of the amla. The vitamin C content in amla is in such a way that even if you cook it in 100 degrees centigrade also, the vitamin C will not get spoiled. That strong it is. In that kind of biochemical structure, it is given by nature to us. So having amla in our meal will definitely help, especially for those who don't have regular fruits. Fruits is one of the least food that is eaten by Indian people. Maybe banana is eaten in South India along with the curd rice. Most people do that. but not everybody does take fruits as a part of their daily food intake. So having amla will definitely help. Amla in pickle form, or amla in murabba form, jam form, or it can be in the form of dried amla, which is eaten as a mouth freshener post meal. That also can be used. And the same similar way, jamuns are available only in a certain period of season. During that season, if you have your jamun fruit, then you got your antioxidants for the rest of your year. In the same way, if you have mangoes in the season, and you got those nutrients given by the mango, those antioxidants are there for the rest of the year. Now, what we do is we look for jamun in unseasoned days. Actually, if somebody is giving you jamun, then you'll go to that 10 miles or 100 miles and go buy and get it, because it is available there, and here it is not season and it is not available here. So what I suggest is take seasonal fruits which are quite rich in antioxidants. All fruits are rich in antioxidants. Seasonal fruits are rich in antioxidants, and these antioxidants are designed in such a way by the nature that during that particular time of the year, to manage or to shield your health from the diseases, those nutrients are designed. That's why you need to take fruits in season that are available. For example, in January, in India, in January, lot of fruits are available. That is winter season for us. So midwinter maybe it will be. So in during winter, we need lot of antioxidant, lot of vitamin C. Fruits are rich in vitamin C. All fruits, not only amla, all fruits are rich in vitamin C. So we need a lot of vitamin C to keep ourselves away from colds, fever, and cough. That happens during the winter, especially people with allergic conditions. It is an anti-allergic also. So all antioxidants will help to keep them in a healthy way. So what I advise, if you call a food a superfood, that means it is quite rich in either a particular antioxidant or rich in color, which is an antioxidant, or rich in a vitamin or mineral, which will help us, impact us in many ways, especially in metabolic ways, and gives or boosts us immunity and helps us in lowering the inflammation. Eating fruits is in seasonal way, and having vegetables every day, and especially having vegetables in the salad form, will definitely improve our intake of antioxidants, which can be actually superfoods. We can make a super salad, super meal, and super antioxidants.
So, Doctor, now let's just discuss about something very much common, that is called metabolic diseases. So, metabolic diseases like PCOS, diabetes, in recent years, treatment of these conditions lies on especially dietary management. Adding up fiber and micronutrients are one of the essential ways to manage these conditions. So now PCOS cases are also very much common and can lead to infertility to the woman. So, but if we rewind our memories, we can see the infertility rate was pretty much low as they use our Indian cultural food. So let us discuss the significance of our Indian cultural food on the management of these particular conditions.
Yeah. See, it is, as I said before, it is not only food, it is also our lifestyle which is impacting our hormones. I always say that we are not, we should be called as hormone beings rather than human beings, because our total health and our behavior, our growth, development, and everything depends upon the hormones. So coming to the PCOS, it is a cry for protein, actually. The loss of, there's a deficiency of nutrients there. There may be a lot of fatty infiltration in the body that is actually competing with the hormones for the sites, the hormone sites, where actually the hormone has to go and do its activity. Fat is blocking that. So that kind of, because fat is also acts like a, it also acts like a hormone. Fat is also is a hormone. So more fat, more blocking of the actual hormones, and the actual activity that is supposed to be done by the hormones will not be happening, and then we see the results like infertility or irregular periods or gaining weight. All these things will happen. So our focus needs to be to uh, reduce the fat percentage in the body. It is not the weight per se. It is the body composition that we have to look at, especially when it comes to PCOS. And definitely, even if the lean person with the PCOS will have more percentage of fat, it need not be over. The person need not be overweight. So the focus needs to be on reducing the fat percentage. When we talk about reducing the fat percentage and how we do, traditional food is a mix of all. We have vegetables, we have dal, we have staple like rice or wheat, and we have curd or a milk product, and we have a fruit at the end. All the five food groups are there in the plate, and it is a mix and well balanced food. Suppose if you don't take the well balanced meal, then there will always be a deficiency, maybe deficiency of minerals, maybe deficiency of vitamins, and deficiency of protein, and more of carbohydrates, which leads to more energy. That will lead to imbalance of energy, and there will be storage of fat, and that will in turn will lead to uh, mimicking the hormones, and that will in turn lead to infertility or irregular periods or PCOS condition. All these syndromes will start. It's a chain reaction. So if you make your food complex, like how our we mix millets into the food, we mix fruits and vegetables into the food. The plate has to be filled with these things: fiber rich, optimal protein, and all essential vitamins and minerals need to be there. When you take a good amount of fruits and vegetables, all vitamins, generally all vitamins will come, and fat soluble vitamins will come from the products like curd. And you have protein, enough protein from plant sources like dals, and even some amount of protein from rice and wheat also you will get. Some nuts, we use certain nuts as chutneys, like peanut chutney. We get good amount of protein from them also. So we have to, when we look at the traditional food, whether it's a South Indian, North Indian, if you stick to the traditional food and you limit the food and eat on time, and the circadian rhythm, if you maintain, because PCOS generally, infertility PCOS are irregular cycles, and our body system works in cyclical form. So the whole world goes in cyclical form. In the night, we have to sleep. During the day, we have to work. So that is the cycle we are under. So we have to respect the nature, be abide by the cycle that it gives us, and take well balanced meal. All three meals. It's not one single meal. If somebody says amla is good and start eating a lot of amla, then it's not going to work that way. So it has to be mixed meal, well balanced meal. All three meals have to be mixed and well balanced meals. Then we can see the normalization of hormones will happen. And also, if there are other things like if there is the PCOS is severe and prolonged, then we can look into seed cycling, where normalization of hormones happens, and we can also advise them, like estrogenic foods, like including soya foods and certain seeds, flax seeds and all, which impact estrogenic. It will give you estrogenic effect, and certain foods like till seeds, which will give you progesteronic effect. Those kind of things also we can look into, if based on the condition. So that we have to look. And if the person is overweight, then we have to first, weight loss is the first thing, first line of treatment. Once the weight loss happens, weight loss is also fat loss focus. Once the fat loss happens, automatically the hormone cycle returns to normalcy.
That is really important, some intake. Okay. So,
Yes.
doctor, there is some interesting point that we all want to discuss. That is our Indian plate. That how we eat exactly. The usually, irrespective of any region, So Indian plates are really rich in grains, legumes, spices, herbs, etc. And they are our daily courses. So can we secure ourselves with the recommended nutrient allowances individually? Like which type of nutrients do you usually we get from our traditional Indian plates? And what is the significance of those nutrients in our health?
See, we need major nutrients and minor nutrients for good health. Major nutrients are three important nutrients. Number one is protein, carbohydrate, and fat. These are the major nutrients, and we require in larger quantities. And the amount of calories we get from these are utilized for our day-to-day activities, our regular bodily functions, and day-to-day activities physically which we perform. So the energy is drawn from carbohydrates and proteins. Some amount of energy is drawn from proteins and some amount of energy drawn from fats. Proteins and fats also have different functions to perform in the body, apart from the carbohydrates, which purely they give energy. Now then, minor nutrients are those which are required in smaller quantities, say like from milligrams to micrograms, and the major nutrients are required in grams, and minor nutrients are required in milligrams and micrograms, and they are vitamins and minerals. They are the stepping stones or the connecting features of metabolic activities, like our elements, our sodium, potassium. They keep the structure of the cell that we take on a daily basis. Every food has that. So we need zinc, we need copper, we need magnesium, we need calcium, we need iron, we need sodium, we need potassium, we need chloride. So many things are there. So many, almost 40 nutrients we be requiring for our well-being. So to get this, of course, always we say, any dietitian, if you ask, any nutritionist, if you ask, they say balanced meal. Balanced meal will give you all these nutrients. And because all foods have composition of all these nutrients at various levels, but the specific colors, the specific taste or look and structure differs because of their various other chemical structures. So what you have to do is we have to include 5 food groups, which are very important. Number one is the carbohydrate group, that is the staple food that we take, that is a rice or wheat or jowar or ragi, that is the staple. And number two is the protein foods, so that is non-vegetarian foods or our grains like dals, all dals or whole grains like rajma, chana, those kind of things. And number three is vegetables. Number four is fruits. Number five is milk and milk products. These 5 food products, if you include in your meal, and it can be in the conical form. So basically for before in this food pyramid, we used to say you have to have the base is like carbohydrate rich foods, like the staple food we used to say before when we studied. But now the modern life doesn't require that. We need fruits and vegetables as base, and followed by carbohydrate and protein. So followed by milk and milk products. So that way, if you can manage your plate, then you will have a healthy plate. And you can include all traditional foods. You can eat pickle, you can eat sweet, you can eat literally everything, but in limited quantities. Pickle is supposed to be eaten in small quantity, small spoon, not in, like, large spoon, large quantity of pickle and rice mix and have. That's not the idea. So maybe once in a while you can indulge, but it is not. It shouldn't be a regular one. So small quantity of pickle, a small quantity of sweet. The sweet will be only this size. If you take a kathli or something, a burfi, it will be only this size. But the calories, it gives you so many. But the rice will be this size, but the calories will be so. But you'll get more satisfaction eating the rice than the single sweet. But with one sweet, you will not be satisfied. You'll have 2-3 sweets, which is triple the amount of calories. So the foods that to be eaten in small quantities have to be eaten in small quantities. That is how the culture is designed. If you stick to the culture and plan accordingly, you will be healthy only.
Correct. So, doctor, now I would just like to know about one very interesting that I was just thinking, that the supplements. So, as we all can see nowadays, supplements prescription has, got raised very much. Almost every single person is having some deficiencies, and they are prescribed supplements. So, doctor, how well we can manage, get ridding of these supplements, prescriptions or supplements, by just replacing our old cultural food, as we were just discussing.
Supplement, as the word suggests, supplement is something in addition to what we eat. That is supplementing. Supplements can be given when there is a deficiency. When does a deficiency happen? When the person is not having proper food, or when the person has some severe condition, or undergoing some treatments, then there's a chance of there's a need for supplement, or there's a chance of deficiency, then we'll give the supplement. And quite commonly nowadays we are seeing vitamin D deficiency and B12 deficiency, which is quite common, and every second person is taking from over the counter vitamin D supplements. We also have to look really whether these supplements are really helpful. Will they have any negative impact? Also, we have to look. Any supplements if you recommend, it has to be taken for 3 months only, based on the condition of the person. We may recommend only for 1 week, or we may recommend for 3 weeks, or we may recommend for 1 month or 3 months, but maximum time limit is 3 months. After 3 months, you have to check yourself again, because certain supplements, certain vitamins can be stored in the liver. So excess will be hypervitaminosis. Less also deficient. Less is a deficiency. So after 3 months, you have to check and see. For example, iron supplements. Some people think very weak and they start taking iron supplements, but iron only 10% will be absorbed. So rest will cause GI disturbances and other disturbances, or maybe some allergy reactions or rashes. So we have to see that when a person wants to take a supplement, especially in the tablet form, they can take with the consultation of physician, and they have to check whether they have that particular deficiency, whether that particular supplement is required for them or not. These things are important. For example, a pregnant woman, our government has decided to give 100 days iron and folic acid. This is compulsory for every woman, because that is very important in the first trimester. So first trimester, 100 days, they will give this iron and folic supplement that is needed there. After that, it is not needed, but definitely we'll give iron and folic and protein, carbohydrate, and everything rich diet. That's a different issue. So when you are taking supplement, see whether that is needed for you or not, on which condition or on whose advice you are taking supplement. And any supplement to be continued only up till 3 months. After 3 months, you have to check again. If it is needed only, it needs to be continued. Otherwise, no, do not continue. That's number one. And if you are somebody wants to take supplements like supplemental food, like powders mixed into the water, or mixed like whey proteins, or supplements which we give for children for growth, powders rich in protein and carbohydrates. They have pure sugars, the powders which we give for growth of the children. If you are not giving enough food, enough energy, then only you give those supplements to the children. Otherwise, it's not needed. Then whey protein also. If you want to become lean, then you can take the whey protein up to 3 months. After that, you have to check whether you have got that desired body shape or not. Unless you are into bodybuilding or you are going for a championship, then the requirements will be different. So it is individual based. We have to look at individual requirement. And
Thank you, doctor. So now I request Dr. Isha, our marketing and communications leader, to conduct our Q&A session. Dr. Isha, over to you, please.
hi, Dr. Isha.
Hi, Dr. Janaki. Thanks, Sutapa. And Dr. Janaki, I would like to say, it's second time we are having a webinar with you, although, the interactions have been many, but whatever the way you explain things, it becomes really very comprehensible, and it makes us associate ourselves with diet a little bit better. So thanks
Thank
for
you.
that.
Thank
And
you.
I do have some questions for you. And as you are here, it's the best time. So one of the questions that normally keeps cropping up is about this herbs and spices that we have in our kitchen. And Indian females do tend to have many of, body pain issues as well. So are there any pain relieving property in these herbs and spices that we commonly find in our house?
Yes, ginger is one, pepper is one, and I have a recipe. I will share it here right now, because one of my friend, she used to regularly used to have a pain. She's fed up taking paracetamol every day. So then she asked me, give me some food which can relieve my pain. So I created a recipe for her. That is, even our pineapple has some effect, because those the area where there'll be the pain exists, it will be inflamed, or the muscle may be tight, things like
Yeah.
that. Whether it's a bone or muscle, whatever, it will be inflamed. So pineapple is one anti-inflammatory, and it loosens the tightness. And
Yeah.
pineapple, ginger, and pepper and cinnamon, all put together. We boil it. You put all these things in a saucepan. Add water, two to 3 cups of water, and let it boil. Let the water become 1 cup, and you drink it warm. So it really relieves the pain. This is one recipe we can make at home and try it out. Otherwise, generally, onion is also one pain reliever on spot. They tie the onions with a cloth. Onion is one
Yeah.
pain reliever. Turmeric is one pain reliever, and pepper is one pain reliever, and other spices like cinnamon, cloves, especially with the dental pains and all. They will
Yes.
keep a clove in
Yes.
their mouth. That's also pain reliever. But keeping the clove inside your mouth for longer period can cause a little bit of ulceration on the mucus,
Correct.
will go away. So that one needs to take care of.
So it's surprising to know that all these products we do have, these foods we have in our house so easily, and it's good to know that you came up with that recipe and the audience is able to listen to it. And I'll certainly try, because my mother always complains of pains, and I'll do let you know how are the effects. But I am positive she'll
Sure.
be having an impact. So
Yes.
my next question here comes. We have been talking about millets, and I was listening to it. It was a great understanding of how the forgotten millet has come up again. But are there any risk factors associated to it? Do you think there are something that we need to be careful about when it comes to millets?
Yeah. All foods will have anti-nutrients. We always talk about the nutrients. All foods will have anti-nutrients. That's why we cook them, process them, clean them, and take them, so that anti-nutrients will not impact us, and they will be lowered while we do the cooking process, or soaking process, or sprouting process, or fermenting process. Millets particularly are they have these anti-nutrients, especially number one thing that I can immediately say is the fiber, which is because all millets are quite rich in fiber. So eating too much of millets on everyday basis, and you take only purely millets and on everyday basis and give 2 years, you will definitely may end up having osteoporotic bones. So fiber makes calcium and iron unavailable to the body. So you have to limit them. Take them. They are very good. They are rich in anti-inflammatory agents, but you have to limit them. Take them in the mixed form, so that that particular fiber will not impact you so much. And soaking and fermenting will lower the anti-nutrients. That is the biggest thing that you can do, and you can enjoy the millets taste and flavors and everything, and all the benefits if you soak them, sprout them, or ferment them.
Thanks, Dr. Janaki. I think so that is very much important when, these craze diets come and people, want to have a hand on it. And if they don't know how to prepare and, they don't know the quantities to take, that certainly can cause more health issues. And I do agree with what you just said. So I think so, given the time and everything, we can only take these questions as of now. But I know you have lots and lots of knowledge to, share with everybody. And we should be coming up another series of having interaction with you. So thanks a lot for your time. And we do take all the tips and tricks that you have shared, certainly with the audience. So thanks a lot for your time, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's always a pleasure to come back to QR. health and then interacting in this way on the public platform, which will be definitely, I hope, will be useful for all of them who have listened to this.
Certainly, ma'am. Over to you, Sutapa.
Thank you, Dr. Isha, for wonderful coordination. So thank you so very much, Dr. Janaki, for providing such a valuable insights on the importance of the Indian plate and how do they influence our optimum health. I'm sure your suggestions will surely motivate our today's audience to make a positive changes into their daily diets, and they, to take more such a bigger proactiveness for their food choices. So
Thank
this,
you.
to our dear viewers, to avail the benefits of our care plans and diet plans, along with care coordination services, please download our Care Book app from the Play Store. We have introduced care plans and diet plans for more than 30 plus health categories in Care Book app. We will be very happy to serve you and your healthcare needs. Kindly contact us for subscription or any further queries. Thank you all for joining today's session. We will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.